What's up to all my Capricorns out there? Welcome to Pulse of the Cosmos. I am your astrologer, Emily, and today we are going to be taking a look at the astrology for this full moon happening in Pisces. So this is going to be happening on September 1st, 2nd of 2020, depending on where you are in the world. And for you guys, my Cappies, this is going to be happening in your third house, while the sun is in opposition to the moon, of course, over there in your ninth house of Virgo. And some of the questions that are really coming up at this time is, there's like a balance between this urge to explore and expand your life with the sun over there in Virgo, your ninth house, but also, are we expanding into the right directions? Are we expanding into directions that are truly stimulating to you, that you truly feel connected with, that truly feel like they make sense in your reality? Or are we just kind of aimlessly expanding anywhere out of this urge to kind of get out and explore and expand? We want to be directing that energy consciously so that at least there's some sense of formulation towards where the kind of structure of this expansion is flowing in your life and what you actually want to create out of it. And we do have this beautiful sextile with Uranus during this full moon. The moon is going to be an exact sextile with Uranus over there in Taurus. And Taurus is in your fifth house. This is the fifth house of love, of creativity, of happiness, of pleasure, of romance. And with Uranus in positive aspects with the full moon in this area, it's trying to shift your life into directions of love and romance and creativity, into forums where you feel stimulated and comfortable to self-express, and where you really have a sense of identification with where you are in life and with the relationships that you're involved in. And another aspect we need to look at here in terms of relationships is that Venus during this full moon is going to be in exact opposition to Saturn over there in your sign of Capricorn. So Venus is in Cancer, your seventh house of relationships, partnerships, projects you're involved in. And with Capricorn being your first house where Saturn is, we're looking at a balance between the relationships you're in, and do you really identify with those? Do you feel space to be yourself, to be an individual, to self-express? Is there room within the relationships that you're in to grow in such a way? Or is there an imbalance in energy and give and take where either you are taking a lot of energy from a relationship or you're giving so much and you're feeling like you're not really getting much back? These are some of the questions that come up with the Venus opposing Saturn during this full moon. We really want to make sure that we're carrying our energy into directions that we fully identify with, that have that identification, and then we have that kind of like inner knowing, like this is stimulating. There is kind of that spark. I want to explore this. I want to expand. And not staying attached to any kind of situations that are restricting that expansion in your life. And with the moon being over there in the third house, it's also time to kind of communicate as well, to communicate your emotions, communicate where you stand, communicate what's going on in your mental processes and your thoughts. It's time to kind of really kind of assert what you want out of this life, out of your environment, out of where you want to expand into. All of these are kind of coming into play with this full moon. And it can be such an inspiring time. This is a full moon in Pisces, such a divinely connected, inspired sign. So you can really get an immense sense of clarity throughout the energy of this full moon about some of these directions that we might be more confused with. Pisces can be really kind of confusing energy as well, but not only will we have that heightened intuition of the full moon in Pisces, we're going to have heightened mental perception and awareness with the sun trining over to Uranus as well. So this will be a great marriage between those two energies where we're really able to focus in on what do we want and what direction do we want to expand in, where it feels stimulating to us. But in any case, let's see here what's going on in the cards for you guys, my Cappies. Okay, the first card we pulled is the Fool card upright. And then we pulled the Queen of Swords upright. And then we pulled the Five of Cups upright. So interesting. Let's pull this together really quickly. Okay, so when we get the Fool crossed by the Queen of Swords, the Fool card always implies kind of starting a new major cycle in life, going off on kind of that journey into that new kind of unknown, exploring different territory that's part of our soul evolutionary path, where we're entering into these new cycles. We just want to make sure we're not being foolish. We don't want to be the fool. We don't want to be foolish about the decisions and the directions that we're moving into here. And you can even see The white dog here is like the Fool's intuition, right? And this is you kind of following your true intuition and your true guidance to take you on these adventures that are going to expand your life into areas that are more stimulating, more connected, and more divine. And when we pulled the Queen of Swords here, there's a challenge in some sense of sorrow. The Queen of Swords kind of always holds this kind of element of sorrow. She's known as even the widow's queen sometimes in tarot. And you can see she kind of sits alone. She's removed from society, but she's pulling these deep truths and these deep insights out of being a conscious observer of what's going on around her. And maybe it's some of these insights and these truths, and even kind of the Queen of Swords disconnects a little bit. So maybe this disconnection that you've made to be kind of a conscious observer of your reality is lending you to these areas where you know you need to get out and to explore. And there might be some hesitation there. There might be some hesitation there because we pulled the Five of Cups coming up next. So this could be a situation where some of my Capricorns out there might be shifting into directions, maybe even love directions, where you've worked really hard emotionally on a lot of these situations, partnerships, projects, relationships, whatever it looks like in your life, that this is coming through as a piece of as we're starting this new journey. Looking to the past here, looking to what didn't work out, kind of mourning and an element of sorrow over that is not going to give you the energy to turn around and manifest with these two cups. It's okay to look at what hasn't worked out. It's okay to kind of disconnect from that. It's okay to kind of move into new directions that feel more stimulating and feel more aligned and feel like I'm going to manifest something way greater out of these two cups that have been left standing up here behind me than what these five cups upright could have ever given me. We are turning around into directions, we're expanding into better places for ourselves, more positive places for ourselves. But it does take that element of disconnection and really look at your reality. Look at the practical aspects of your reality as a conscious observer and see what's connecting and see what's not, and disconnect where there's not that stimulation so that you can get going on some of these new exciting adventures and opportunities that have come your way through this sun traversing through the ninth house for you guys. But in any case, I love you guys all so much, my Cappies out there. I hope you're doing well, and I will be back next time.